There's a strange hum in the atmosphere. Not a sound, but a feeling, like something ancient is stirring beneath the surface of reality. Have you felt it? Lately, you may have found yourself restless at night, waking for no clear reason. The world feels heavier. Conversations leave you drained. Dreams are more vivid, emotions more intense, and everything around you feels like it's teetering on the edge of something you can't quite name. And yet, deep down, part of you knows, this isn't random. Something is shifting. April 13, 2025, marks the first full moon after the recent eclipse portal, and it's not just another celestial event. This moon carries a message. Its light doesn't simply illuminate the sky, it exposes, it reveals, and it reaches into the deepest corners of your being. What's hidden is now rising. And whether you're aware of it or not, this energy is already affecting you. If you're hearing this, maybe it's not by chance. Maybe you didn't find this message, maybe it found you. Because some people feel full moons more deeply than others. Some are stirred, awakened, even called. If that's you, if this resonates in a way you can't explain, take it as a sign. Drop the number 13 in the comments, not for me, but for the moon. Let it know you're listening. Because what's coming next isn't ordinary. As the full moon of April 13th approaches, you may begin to sense an unfamiliar tension pulling at the edges of your awareness, something you can't quite explain, but feel nonetheless. Crowded spaces may start to feel unbearable. Conversations that once energized you might now leave you drained, your patience wearing thin with each interaction. The noise of the outside world, voices, obligations, expectations, begins to press in like a weight. And so, without fully realizing why, you may find yourself pulling away from it all. At first, you might mistake it for burnout. You might think something's wrong with you, that you're shutting down emotionally or growing distant from the people you love. But look deeper. This isn't dysfunction. This isn't disconnection. This is a sacred calling cloaked in stillness. The moon is not punishing you with isolation, it's preparing you for revelation. There are moments in the spiritual journey when the divine removes you from the crowd, not to silence you, but to help you hear. And this full moon is one of those moments. It is not simply casting light upon the world, it is casting light upon your soul, inviting you to withdraw, not from life, but from noise, so that you can finally hear the voice that has been whispering beneath the surface all along. You are not being pushed into loneliness. You are being drawn into alignment. This solitude is not empty. It is not cold. It is a room prepared for you, a quiet upper chamber where heaven meets the human heart. The same way Moses was summoned alone to Mount Horeb, where a bush burned with holy fire and the voice of God pierced the silence, Exodus 3, you too are being led into your own wilderness. Not as a punishment, but as preparation. The mountain of silence you're climbing is not barren, it is sacred ground. And in that quiet, something begins to rise. You may notice long-buried memories resurfacing. Feelings you've pushed aside for years now bubble to the surface. Ideas, dreams, visions that once flickered in the distance now stand directly before you, asking to be faced. This is the full moon's gift, it removes the outer distractions so the deeper truths can finally be heard. The question is not whether you will feel this pull. If you're attuned at all to the moon's frequency, you likely already are. The real question is, will you fight it, or will you surrender? Will you scroll endlessly to avoid the silence, or will you sit with it, listen to it, let it shape you? This isn't a withdrawal. It's a divine intervention. It's not emptiness. It's a womb of becoming. You are not being abandoned, you're being invited to re-encounter yourself. And in that encounter, the voice of God may echo softly, or thunder like fire from a bush that does not burn out. So if you're finding yourself more quiet lately, more sensitive, more withdrawn, don't judge it. Honor it. This is not loneliness. This is sacred solitude. And the full moon is simply holding the space for your soul to finally speak. As the moon swells into its fullness on April 13th, something else is swelling with it, something unseen, something ancient. The space between worlds begins to thin, like mist dissolving in the morning sun. And in that thinning, the air grows heavier. Time feels slower. The night feels alive. You may not be able to explain it, but your body knows. Your spirit feels it before your mind can process it. Something is watching. This isn't fear. It's recognition. You might catch it in a fleeting moment, the sudden sensation that someone is behind you when no one is there. A chill brushing past your skin. The flicker of movement in the corner of your eye. Dreams that feel far too vivid to be random, where faces you don't recognize seem to speak with voices you've somehow always known. These aren't just tricks of the mind. They're evidence that the veil is lifting. During this full moon, the barrier between this physical world and the unseen realm becomes nearly transparent. Like a curtain drawn back just enough for you to glimpse what exists beyond logic and linear time. It's not just symbolic, it's energetic. It's real. And you're standing at the edge of it. Some beings will approach you with warmth, soft energies, guides, ancestors, protectors who come not to disturb you, but to comfort and realign you. There may be signs, a flickering light at just the right moment, a word in a dream that lingers long after waking, the feeling that you are not alone, and strangely, not afraid. But not everything that crosses through the thinning veil comes in peace. For every protective presence, there are also watchers. Entities drawn to energy like yours, light that pulses a little brighter, sensitivity that acts like a beacon. They don't always announce themselves. They observe. They test. Some bring messages. Others bring chaos. Some merely reflect what still lingers in your own shadow. That's why discernment is everything right now. Psalm 91 verse 11 tells us, "He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." That promise still stands. But Scripture also reminds us that not every spirit is from God. 1 John 4 verse 1 urges us to test the spirits, to see whether they are from God. Because in this kind of moonlight, everything hidden becomes visible, not only within you, but around you. So if you feel watched, don't jump to fear. Don't immediately shut it out. Instead, tune in. Ask what it wants. Ask where it comes from. Ask if it's meant for your growth or your distraction. And then, listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. This is the kind of moon where reality bends, where time warps, where visitations happen in silence. It is a night for the spiritually alert, not the spiritually numb. The energies that come forth now will not always knock. Some will simply enter. Some will whisper. Some may try to deceive. Others will protect. All will reveal. This full moon isn't just shining a light over the earth, it's revealing what has always been present, hidden behind the veil. And whether you're ready or not, they know you can see them. As this full moon approaches its apex, the universe begins to speak in a different language. Not in words, but in symbols, sensations, and disruptions that most overlook. Lights flicker without cause. Electronics stutter and reset. Pets stare fixedly at corners of the room, barking or refusing to enter spaces they normally love. The sky changes color without warning. A gust of wind passes through a completely still room. Your body, too, begins to shift, tingling, pulsing, vibrating with an energy you can't explain. And while your mind might search for logical answers, your soul already knows, these are not malfunctions. These are messages. What you're experiencing is not random. It's spiritual interference, divine signals breaking through the veil, disrupting the ordinary to draw your attention to the extraordinary. The cosmos is not silent. It never has been. It's just that most people have forgotten how to listen. But you're starting to remember. These signs are part of a sacred conversation, one that doesn't use human language, but speaks directly to your intuitive body, your dreaming mind, your spiritual senses. They come as glitches in the matrix of reality, a flicker here, a vibration there, not to frighten you, but to wake you. Like breadcrumbs leading you home. The more sensitive you are, the more clearly you'll receive them. The moon doesn't simply bathe you in light, it tunes your frequency to a higher awareness, so you can feel what others miss. And maybe that's why your dog is suddenly uneasy. Why your phone freezes when you're thinking about someone. Why you've seen the same numbers, 111, 333, 144, everywhere. Why your body sometimes jolts like static is moving through it. You're not imagining it. You're being synchronized. There is a greater unveiling happening, and you are a part of it. Romans 8 verse 19 whispers this truth: all creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. Even the earth itself is waiting. The atmosphere knows. The wind knows. The animals know. The signs you're seeing are not just signs, they are responses. Creation is speaking, and for those with eyes to see, ears to hear, and spirits attuned, it is saying, the time is near. So pay attention. When a streetlight flickers the moment you speak your truth, when your cat won't step into a room where you've just prayed, when the energy in your chest surges right before a synchronicity appears, these are not accidents. They're confirmations. Don't brush them off. Don't laugh them away. The veil is thin, and the universe is sending signals to those who are awake enough to notice. The strange is not a disturbance, it's an announcement. And if you're receiving these signs, it means you're already being prepared for what's coming next. As the full moon nears its peak, you may start to notice something odd about the people around you. The barista snaps at you for no reason. A coworker, usually quiet, suddenly opens up about something deeply personal. A stranger on the street looks at you with wide, tear-filled eyes, as if they recognize something in you they've been searching for. These moments feel surreal, like scenes out of a dream, yet they're happening more frequently. And the pattern is too precise to be dismissed. This full moon isn't just pulling the tides, it's pulling at the emotional undercurrents of everyone it touches. It's stirring what's been buried. Repressed grief, unspoken truths, silent anger, long-lost longings, all of it begins to rise, unfiltered, raw, and unexpectedly exposed. People become vessels of release. They react impulsively, confess vulnerably, behave erratically, not because they've lost control, but because the moon has activated something they can no longer contain. What you're witnessing is a spiritual phenomenon. It's not chaos for the sake of chaos, it's catharsis. The moon, in her fullness, becomes a mirror. And under her light, everyone begins to reflect what they've refused to face. But here's the twist, the reflection doesn't stop with them. It bounces back to you. You might notice that people seem unusually drawn to you, or triggered by you, for reasons you can't quite understand. Some may project their pain onto you, others may spill their truth in your presence as if you're their confessor. You may become the keeper of secrets you never asked to hold. Why? Because your energy is acting as a mirror. And the more sensitive you are, the more you begin to absorb. You're not just observing the shifts in others, you're feeling them. And then, it starts happening inside you too. Words slip out that you didn't plan to say. Emotions rise that don't seem to belong to you. You react to small things with disproportionate intensity. It's not you being off, it's the emotional field around you becoming charged, unstable, magnetized by lunar energy. This isn't a personal flaw. It's a cosmic process. The moon is peeling back layers, not just within you, but within the collective. And for those who are awake, sensitive, or spiritually attuned, the effect is doubled. You're not just processing your own energy, you're filtering the overflow of others. You may feel overwhelmed, but take heart, this isn't random. This is sacred alchemy in motion. So if people around you are acting strangely, if their words are sharper, their emotions heavier, their behavior harder to read, pause before you react. Breathe before you respond. Ask yourself not just what they're showing you, but why now? Because the moon is using them as catalysts. She's not just exposing their truth, she may also be unlocking something hidden within you. And if you find yourself behaving in ways that surprise you, offering a confession you didn't plan, crying without knowing why, confronting something you've avoided, know that this too is part of the unfolding. It's not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough, written in moonlight. Some full moons come and go without much weight. But this one lingers. It doesn't just light up the sky, it reaches deep into you, pulling at threads you thought had been woven in silence. There's something different about it, isn't there? Something more intimate, more insistent. If you felt like this moon is watching you, calling you, even orbiting around your inner life rather than just the earth itself, it's because it is. Not everyone feels this pull. Not everyone notices when the night sky begins to speak. But if you do, if this moon feels like it's trying to get your attention, it probably is. And if the pull feels personal, it's because it was never meant to be general. This energy wasn't cast like a wide net across the world. It was sent like a whisper meant only for the ones who are awake enough to hear it. Isaiah 30 verse 21 says, "Your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, this is the way, walk in it." And maybe that word isn't coming from a preacher, a teacher, or even a book, but from the quiet pressure you feel in your chest when you're still under moonlight. Maybe it's that subtle knowing that something is about to change, and that your soul is being asked to choose, to listen, or to stay asleep. This moon doesn't just want you to watch, it wants you to listen. Not with your ears, but with your whole being. Because somewhere beneath the surface of your daily distractions, there's something the moon is trying to strip away. Maybe it's a story you've told yourself for too long. Maybe it's a version of you that no longer fits. Maybe it's an illusion you've clung to because the truth felt too costly. And now, under this light, that illusion has nowhere left to hide. So ask yourself, honestly, quietly, fearlessly. What is this moon trying to take from you? What weight are you still carrying that is no longer yours? What truth have you avoided because it would change everything? This isn't just about release, it's about readiness. The moon's glow is both a balm and a blade. It comforts, yes. But it also cuts through everything false. And when it shines directly into the shadows you've ignored, it's not doing so to punish you, it's doing it to liberate you. If your emotions are heightened, if your dreams feel like instructions, if your spirit feels restless even when everything around you is calm, take that seriously. That's not just sensitivity. That's sacred awareness. The moon is calling your soul into alignment, and the question is not whether it's speaking to you, the question is, will you answer? Lately, the nights feel longer than usual. You lie awake while the rest of the world sleeps, your body tired but your mind wide open, buzzing, remembering, reaching for something just beyond the veil. And no matter how many times you shift your position, slow your breath, or try to silence your thoughts, sleep refuses to come. But this isn't insomnia in the clinical sense. This isn't a flaw in your body or a malfunction in your mind. This is awakening. Under this full moon, restlessness isn't a side effect, it's a signal. The moon's light, though distant, has never been more intrusive. It doesn't just shine over oceans and cities, it pierces into your inner world, illuminating the rooms within you that have remained closed for far too long. It exposes what's buried, unspoken, unresolved. And the more you try to sleep it away, the more insistent it becomes. You may find old memories resurfacing, moments from your past returning not to haunt you, but to be healed. Emotions you thought were long gone suddenly swell like waves crashing against the shore. Joy, grief, regret, hope. All stirred up as if your soul has decided that tonight, it will not let you ignore them. And then come the dreams, when you do manage to drift into sleep. Vivid, strange, emotional, prophetic. Not ordinary dreams, but journeys. Conversations with the dead. Symbols you don't understand but feel deeply. Places you've never seen in waking life, but somehow recognize. These aren't your imagination, they are messages passed through the veil while it is thinnest. The subconscious, once silent, now becomes a stage for spiritual transmission. This is the moon speaking to you in the only way you'll truly hear, in the silence, in the stillness, when the world around you is asleep and your defenses are down. And in that space, what's hidden becomes visible. What's forgotten becomes loud. What's spiritual becomes real. So the next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., don't curse the wakefulness. Embrace it. Ask why your spirit is restless. Listen for the thought that returns again and again. Feel what your body is trying to release. The night may be dark, but it is sacred. And this full moon isn't keeping you awake to punish you, it's trying to wake you up. There is revelation waiting in the sleepless hours. Insight hiding in the tension behind your eyes. Freedom encoded in the dream that startles you awake. If you are sensitive to this, you are not broken, you are being activated. Not all awakenings come in light. Some arrive in the heavy quiet of night, under the watchful gaze of a full moon that has always known your name. There's a certain pressure building beneath the surface. Not in the world outside, but inside you. A restlessness in the throat, a tightness in the chest, a rising urge to speak the things you've held in far too long. And you might try to silence it, to breathe it down, to distract yourself, to push it back into the vault where all your buried thoughts and untold truths have lived. But under this full moon, that vault no longer holds. This moon is acting like a cosmic truth serum. It reaches into your spirit and unlocks what you've hidden, what you've denied, what you've tried to forget. The apology you've avoided, the confrontation you've rehearsed in your head 1,000 times, the feelings you've swallowed in the name of peace, all of it begins to rise, undeniable and raw. It may begin with a trembling in your voice. A slip of emotion you didn't expect. A sentence that escapes your lips before you realize what you're saying. But once the truth begins to move, it doesn't stop. The moon does not care about your comfort zone, it only cares about your freedom. And the truth, as the scriptures say in John 8 verse 32, will set you free. But what that verse doesn't always say out loud is this: before it sets you free, the truth will shake you to your core. It will unsettle you. It will undo the version of yourself that survived by suppression. It will stir the parts of your story you thought you'd buried for good. And in that stirring, something powerful begins to happen: healing. You may find yourself saying things you didn't plan to say. A simple conversation suddenly becomes a confession. A text turns into a breakthrough. The words you thought you were too afraid to speak come pouring out with a force that surprises even you. But don't resist it. This is sacred release. This is soul detox. The truth isn't trying to ruin anything, it's trying to redeem everything. And it's not just you. All around you, people are erupting in their own ways: sudden tears, emotional outbursts, unexpected honesty. Relationships may tremble. Dynamics may shift. But the ground that shakes is also the ground where new growth begins. The moon's energy is clearing space, not for destruction, but for clarity. For realness. For intimacy that can't exist where lies still live. So let it rise. Let it spill. Let it come undone. Because what you speak under this moon may hurt, yes, but it may also be the very thing that sets everything right. The moon is lighting the parts of you that need to be freed through truth. And even if it's messy, even if it's vulnerable, even if it scares you, this is your moment. You were never meant to carry all of that inside forever. And this moon knows it. We are reaching the tipping point. The energy has been building slowly, silently, but now it's beginning to crest. You can feel it, in the air, in your body, in your spirit. The full moon of April 13th is not just illuminating the sky. It's illuminating a choice. A crossroads. Everything feels heightened. Repeated numbers begin to follow you: 111, 222, 144, each one pulsing like a divine code. People from the past resurface without warning. Your dreams are layered with symbols. You overhear conversations that seem strangely tailored to your thoughts. These are not coincidences. They're not just signs meant to be admired and then forgotten. They are instructions, delicate but direct messages from the divine, asking you to stop waiting and start moving. This moon is not passive. It is not quiet. It is pressing its light into every unresolved crevice of your life and asking, are you ready to let this go? The belief that keeps you small. The relationship that dims your light. The fear that whispers you're not ready. Whatever you're clinging to, the moon is asking you to put it down. Not in shame. Not in loss. But in liberation. Because on the other side of that release is something you've prayed for. Longed for. Dreamed about in silence. But to receive it, you must cross the threshold. You must choose to stop surviving in the familiar and step forward, shaking, unsure, but spiritually awake, into what comes next. This is not just a moon. This is a mirror. And it's showing you who you were, who you are, and who you could become, if you're willing. So now we arrive at the conclusion, though you and I both know, this isn't really an ending. April 13th, 2025 is not just a full moon. It's a cosmic confrontation, between your past and your future, your illusions and your truth, your fear and your calling. Not everyone will feel it. Not everyone will be moved. But if you do, if something in this message has stirred you, then trust this, it's meant for you. Let the truth rise. Let the strange in. Let the moonlight flood every darkened room of your spirit and reveal what's been waiting there all along. You were never meant to sleep through this moment. You were meant to stand in it, awake, aware, and aligned. And if you've already started feeling the pull, if the dreams have grown more vivid, if your emotions have been unpredictable, if the number 13 keeps finding you, then say so. Leave a sign in the comments. Share the shift you felt. Speak it into the open. Because the moment you acknowledge it, you activate it. And if you're ready to walk deeper into this unfolding path, don't forget to subscribe. This journey is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning.